"41-year-old Juan Antonio Arielo Murillo has been extradited from Mexico to the USA to face multiple offences in connection to the strangling deaths of 2 women more than a decade ago, one of whom was pregnant. On the 7th of January 2022, Juan was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail in Utah after his extradition. He's been charged with multiple counts of aggravated murder, as well as a slew of other indictable offences. His victims, 29-year-old Sonia Mejih, her unborn child, and 57-year-old Damiana Castillo, and both live 5 blocks from each other. Sonia worked at McDonald's, but at 11:30 a.m. on the 9th of February 2006, she was home alone in an apartment located at 1167 West Clubhouse Drive in Salt Lake City, Utah. She answered the door. Standing just inside to greet a Hispanic man in his early 20s with short black hair combed back. A neighbour saw the man leaning against the door, holding a can of Coke and Cheetos. He was estimated to be around 5 feet 5 inches tall and of medium build. Next moment, the neighbour witnesses the man grab her by the throat and hit her on the side of the head. Sonia fell to the ground inside the apartment, and the assailant enters and kicks the apartment door shut. At around 5:58 a.m, Sonia's husband returns home from work and discovers her lifeless, partially disrobed body laying on their bed. She had been lewdly assaulted and strangled, and the authorities were contacted. When officers arrived, they noticed Cheetos spilled all over the entryway, both inside and outside the front door. There was also a discarded bag and bottle of Coke just inside the door. Sonia's husband said that no one drank Coke and that Cheetos are not usually kept in the apartment. Officers then went into the bedroom and located Sonia's body. She had been gagged with a dark blue bandana and had a wire wrapped tightly around her neck. There was also an orange substance resembling Cheetos on the right side of her chest. Her husband said that neither the bandana or the ligature belonged to them. Sonia was 6 months pregnant at the time, and the baby didn't survive. Sonia's husband reported that her keys, vehicle, heart-shaped ring, diamond ring, and religious pendant were all missing. Her 1998 Ford Escort car was located 4 days later, abandoned in a parking lot at the Fairfield Inn Motel, located 12 blocks away. The authorities obtained fingerprints from the Cheetos bag and Coke bottle and were entered into the automated fingerprint identification system. DNA was collected from the ligature around Sonia's neck and Coke bottle, which was entered into the CODIS DNA database, but did not immediately yield a suspect's identity. However, a DNA profile of the unknown suspect was created. On the 9th of February 2008, Damiana Castillo's son tried calling his mother several times, and she was expecting him to pick her up for work that day. When she didn't answer, he dropped by her apartment, located at 4000 South Redwood Road in Salt Lake City, Utah, and knocked on her door. When she failed to respond, he let himself in using a spare key that was kept outside. After letting himself in, he found his mother's lifeless body laying on the living room floor, just inside the front door, partially covered with a pillow, and the authorities were contacted. When officers arrived, they found the apartment was a mess, with a small overturned table and other signs of a struggle. There they found Damiana's lifeless body. She had been strangled with a ligature and had a deep mark on her neck. Her pocketbook and wallet were found abandoned on a couch, and her jewellery box had been damaged. DNA evidence was obtained from Damiana's neck and was entered into the CODIS DNA database, and fingerprints were also collected. Because the DNA profile matched that of Sonia's murder, as well as the fingerprints, the police were able to link the 2 cases as the same killer. One problem existed, however. They still didn't know the identity of the suspect. A break in the case occurred in 2016, when the automated fingerprint identification system provided the identification of Juan as the source of fingerprints in both cases. Investigators then manually compared the collected fingerprints to the temprint record for Juan. They examined the print match from each finger and linked Juan to the samples from the Cheetos bag and Coke bottle in Sonia's case, as well as the wallet in Damiana's case. Records also indicated that Juan lived in close proximity to his victims at the time of the murders. In October of 2008, Juan was deported to his homeland in Mexico due to previous convictions for theft and fraud, and remained there until his extradition in early January 2022. The authorities said that a paper trail from Juan's deportation allowed detectives to connect the dots and make an arrest. He's held without bail and faces the possibility of life in prison. He will not face the death penalty due to diplomatic restrictions on defendants extradited from Mexico.